But I'm able to just go all the way down and see that all the rocker arms are on there. It looks like a second valve from the back has a bent push rod. That's the rocker arm there. And I'll come back a little ways. And you can see there, that push rod right there on the left side of the screen is not, that's the one that's off. So we know that that's the one. Let's see if any of these other ones are bent. The rest of these look okay. So to get into this passenger side, what I've had to do so far, I had to take off the intake and the boot. And I took out the air box and the boot for that. I got this bottom nut out here on the turbo and the one that's kitty corner. This one here, across from this one, is starting to skip. I may have to torch that one. And then I'm taking off this back elbow here, there's 4 bolts, so that I can get a wrench in here to this bottom bolt here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that one either. But yeah, it's pretty easy. The clamp here is easy to reach with an extension out to here. Most of these are pretty accessible with a wrench flipped up like this. But they are pretty tight and corroded on there. So you're going to have to do all of that to get to this point. Okay, so for an update, I did have to torch off that front right bolt. It was rounded. I guess anytime you're torching in here, you got to be real careful. I caught that on fire a little bit. But I think that's about it. I think fill to oil return line there got a little hot, but yeah. So now you can see these 2 bolts right there. There's this. There was this cover right here. Or it goes like this. Down in there. Just use a pry bar to get that out of there. A couple little screws. I think 7mm. Right here. And then now I have access to these 2 bolts here. And again, I'm probably going to just crack or take off the injector lines right here, just so I can get these up out of the way, get this cover removed. Okay, so we got new push rods in and a bunch of other stuff, gaskets and stuff. And a couple of studs for the exhaust. I didn't see any nuts with those, so I don't know if they didn't come or if we didn't order them, but yeah, this is what we're looking with. I hate it when I see odd numbers of nuts and things like that, but when you're working on a diesel, I guess anything's possible. I know some of these, like these, are for the turbo. If you have a 6.5 liter or 6.2 liter Chevy diesel and you're wondering where your injector pump is, that's it right there. I don't know how much of this other stuff's gonna have to come off on the front of the motor. I did have to kind of fish things out of here. And I don't really want to fish things back in there with new gaskets. So, I don't know. I don't really know what else I could take off and make life easier. Maybe the alternator and the AC pump. But, yeah, I guess still got to take all this apart. Take these arms off. Or replace these plastic guys. These are just plastic. Like, really, it's literally plastic. Like toy plastic. So, see how it goes. So on this far, I got the rocker covers back on. Putting the fuel lines back on. It was pretty easy to find out which fuel line went where. I didn't mark them. But I just set them up on each side of the motor, kind of like this. I know that these ends here all meet on the same plane. So I'm able to just kind of line them up like that. And then there you can see it. One, front to back. It sets itself up pretty easily. Some of these are really hard to get to get a wrench on that. I think that one, or maybe the one underneath it, was the most difficult for me to get off. So I'm gonna do that one first, put that one on first. Not the one you can see there. There's one that goes behind that on the very dead bottom, I think. Yeah, there's one behind that. So going together pretty easy. The silicone didn't 100% dry, so it kind of fought me a little bit, but mostly just lining up the holes. It actually stuck to the bottom of the lid there to get in place. I had trouble torquing it. These ones over here are hard to reach. Down in here. Here you can see one there. Yeah, just move some stuff out of the way and stuff lines right up. So I'll give you guys an update as I get a little farther down the road here. All right, time for a little progress report here. I got the injector lines on. I got the intake manifold on. Got the rocker covers on. You know, that wouldn't really be content worthy on a vehicle that's about 30 years older than this, but about 20 years older than this one. It wouldn't really be content worthy, but that is a feat. It really is. So I clean up this surface here. I think the hardest part, I didn't take any notes when I took this harness off here. Something to do with vacuums. I didn't take any notes, so I don't know. I had to figure out where it goes and get this all hooked up. And then we got to put this on, figure out where all the wires go. I did have to take the elbow off of the turbo here. You're gonna have to do that. So yeah, and then we ordered studs and they didn't come. We ordered, I think, 4 studs, 2 from one place, 2 from another, just because of stock issues, and there's neither. But the problem is that they didn't come from one of the places, so we only got 2. So I had to figure that out. I think 2 of the bolts are still good. I had to cut one with a torch. I'm gonna have to get that out. The rest of the stuff just bolts right back on. It's like a parts cart / welding cart. All right, let's get her moving here. Okay, so you have the oil return line here for the turbo. This is the oil feed. The oil comes in, it feeds the shaft for the turbo, and then this is the return. I don't want to get any of this old gasket material in this pipe, plugging that up. So I just rolled up a paper towel and then I'll do my best to work around it and then pull that out. And I didn't film it, but when I was cleaning all this up in here, I put paper towels down in the holes. It's really hard to be 100% sanitary when you're doing it in the vehicle like this, so you just kind of do the best you can. At least that's what I do. I'm sure there's a Billy badass mechanic out there that can do this in a truck and not have any debris get in anything, but I'm part truck driver, so I'm a little bit lazier than Billy badass mechanic that can do that. So anyways, let's get back to it. I really didn't mean to gloss over this repair on this video. I didn't know if I was gonna have it be a how-to or whatnot. I didn't know what to show or what not to show. I did use some exhaust putty when I put the elbow back on the turbo there. And do not pry on that manifold. If it won't come on, you still got more bolts on there. Trust me, it'll come right off when you get all the bolts out. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me on Instagram at Mike's Mischief. All right, if I did everything right, it should start. I don't know if the boot has to be on for it to start. I should at least crank over like this. I'm going to test it before I get any deeper in this. Make sure that nothing's going to vibrate and fall down in there. When I started, I probably should clean up better as I go along, but I didn't. All right, here we go. Test fire with a new push rod. That's the story of my life right there. Should have put it on the charger last night or something. We're taking the dome light out. I guess we gotta wait. All right, it's been charging for a few minutes here. Let's try this again. It's like a no-go on that one. See, I got a ground off over here too. See if that'll help. Maybe it had enough juice, it just didn't have a good ground, so we'll find out.
put fuel.
All right, I got the batteries charged up a little bit. Let's see if this thing will start. Turn this thing off inside. So there you have it. I guess it was the push rod after all. Got a new one put in there. Got a little bit of buttoning up left to do with the airbox and things like that. I guess this truck isn't next on the chopping block after all. Maybe it'll last the winter, who knows? We don't know much about the transmission, anything like that. I think it's got just over 300,000 kilometers, so I don't know. It's a Canadian truck, must be. Yeah, I was gonna finish buttoning it up here, and boy, do I have a surprise for this two-wheel drive diesel here in North Dakota.
But it's too late now. I remember you and me, and how careless we could be.
All day and all night, we'd stay up, it felt so right. We were so young, we were so dumb.